गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. We are in Amrutanubhava chapter 7 and we are on verse OV number 184. So it was told here that the moment one's eyelid touches the other, the plurality of seer seen is born. When the eyes open, the seer disappears. What a wonder indeed. So, moment the eye of wisdom opens, the duality disappears, and the moment the eye of wisdom is closed for whatever reason, at that moment the plurality, the variety, the multiplicity appears again and the relativity is born. So you must have noticed that many times when we are in satsang, when you are moving around, you are contemplating, suddenly it just clicks that everything is just right, everything is just one. But it doesn't last. That feeling, that knowingness, that clarity about who you are, and you come to know that you are the witness, and it's not through your mind, but you just know it. It's a fleeting one. That's the, if you can take it that as the eye of wisdom, it's not even an intuitive thought. When that happens, it stays there for some time, then it goes away. Just like you sleep for some time and then you wake up again and multiplicity begins. You go in meditation for some time, all multiplicity has disappeared, you are aware, you are awake, not sleeping, but when you come out, again multiplicity begins. Similarly, if we can move around in the world and have this eye of wisdom always open, then the multiplicity will not disturb us at all, because our attention is on the substratum, and this is only and here it is said, the great masters who were established in this vision were able to love the whole world without reason or logic, because they had transcended the relative existence of cause and effect. Wherever there is multiplicity, there is cause and effect. Whenever this eye of wisdom, for whatever reason, it opens up, it is only because we have gone beyond cause and effect. We have gone beyond logic. We have gone beyond thinking. Thinking is a product of cause and effect. We have to go beyond that. We have to get out of the mind. Mind is a product, is a byproduct of this cause and effect, or it is a product of cause and effect. The vision of the absolute about the relative is called spiritual unfoldment or open eye meditation. So right now we see the whole world as an obstacle for our realization, isn't it? Who is obstacle? Our husbands are obstacles, Our children are demanding attention, the world is demanding attention, the sleep is demanding attention, the body pain is demanding attention. So as long as our attention is on this, well, man, when this all this will get over? When will I be free of all this, isn't it? So we are continuously in confrontation with the world. And as a result, what is happening? We have carved out a personality which is always standing in opposition to the world as a spiritual seeker. And here, once the eye of wisdom opens up, as it has for the masters, many masters all over the world, then there is no confrontation, there is no opposition. Then there is inclusion. Then there is inclusion. Inclusion out of that everything is the divine only. There is nothing other than the divine, because the vision has changed now. Before it was the vision of that versus this, me versus them. Now it is all I. And there is unconditional love for everything. And then the multiplicity is there, but the take that master has towards it, or that we can have towards it, is that of all is divine. So that was the meditation today. That suspect divinity behind every action, every speech, every word that you speak, every thought that you have, every sense perception that is taking place. Suspect the divinity. It is not that you are seeing. Seeing is taking place. See the divine hand. Thoughts are coming. See the divine behind it. Array, some power is making the thoughts come. Some power is making the breath go in and come out. Some power is making the senses perceive. Some power is making... I did not just now make a decision that I'm going to move the hand this way or that way. But some power is making it happen. Remain aware. Remain aware. The more we remain aware, slowly this transformation of coming, you will start weaning your mind out of cause and effect. Why? It will start happening because now your focus is not on multiplicity, but your focus is on what is the base of all this multiplicity. So I'm seeing, but my attention is on what is that power, what is that divine, that it is the divine. I know, but I don't have a direct experience, but I know it must be something. It is something other than what all that is going on. And slowly, as the mind becomes saturated with the thought of the divine, attention on the divine, rather than getting caught up and getting trapped in the name and form, that is the world, the eye of wisdom somewhere will suddenly open up. And therefore, one can never get absolute bliss from the relative existence. That absolute bliss is only possible from the absolute principle, and that absolute principle is the divine, and that divine is nothing other than your own essence, not as an individual, but as the infinite power which is equally expressing without any discrimination in and through every sentient and insentient being in this creation. In and through everything. Equally. It is equally present in this chest of drawers, in this carpet, in this house, in these bricks, in you. This perception of the relative experience without the consequence of relativity, although functioning through relativity, is called a yoga bhumika, or the state of supreme self-realization. What is that? You are functioning in the relative world, not getting disturbed by the relative world, but seeing that the infinite alone is appearing as the relative world. So two things. You are in the relative, but your attention is, or your realization is now, that it is that one reality which is itself experiencing as the entire relativity. So there is nothing that you have to run away from. There is nothing that you have to run towards. Nothing to achieve, nothing to gain, nothing to escape from. It will be a fantastic feeling, disposition, isn't it? And yet, you are doing everything. Yet you are doing everything. Because that doing is going on of its own accord. You are not doing hunger. Hunger comes. You are not doing breathing. Breathing happens. Similarly, all activity that is going on in your life will just go on. But your attention is, it has clicked that everything is one. This is how Mahatmas live, great masters live. Living in, from a relative point, living in for mind to understand, but it can never understand. Living in relativity, but not getting caught up in relativity, and seeing the relativity as permeated by the divinity, or as an expression of divinity. This is the yoga bhumika. This self-realization is not in terms of I am realized and others are not, but of I alone is the reality, and if I am realized, there is none in my eyes who is not realized. Isn't it? If I am realized, then all my limbs are also realized. If I am realized, then all the cells are also realized. If I am realized, then my entire mind with all its thoughts, its emotions, everything is realized, isn't it? Right or not? It cannot be that I am realized and my mind is not realized. It cannot be I am realized and my body cannot think, no doubt. But who had this idea of realization? Who had this idea of realization?
That is the individual.
But where is this idea of individual? In the mind. Does self need to realize? Self is always. It has never got not realized. So whose problem is all this? It is the mind's. And once mind realizes, then all the convictions become neutralized. Because everything is okay. Nothing to run away from. Then where is the entire world? In the space, right? In the gross space, the whole cosmos is. Where is the space? Space is a concept of your mind. So the whole space, outside space, with the entire cosmos is only an idea in your mental space. And now that my mental space has got realized, so will not the entire world also be an expression of your realization? Logically, right? Now it has to be directly perceived. And that is possible only by coming to the source. It's so thrilling just to think about it. So everything that is included in the mind has to become divinized. And what has it come to realize? That the mind has come to realize, I am and I am eternal. And this conclusion is without thinking, it has come to know. And the moment it comes to know that, the entire, the vibration, the light of wisdom, the eye of wisdom opens up and it devours the entire mind. Then that mind with it, the entire idea of the cosmos, with all the names and forms, automatically gets divinized also. And when that person opens his eyes, he sees only himself everywhere. Or he, not himself as this body, but what he realized that I is the source. See? Just like looking at your body doesn't make you confused. That are you the body or are you not the body? Isn't it? At one level. Similarly, looking at the entire cosmos will not make you confused. Just like you say, I am this body, then you will start saying, I am this whole universe. It's that easy. And because you don't keep speaking about and even if you speak about your body as healthy or not healthy, or hungry or not hungry, or breathing or not breathing, thinking or stressed out or peaceful, but everything is I only, no? Everything is that I am only I am. And the entire becomes the I, not just this body, mind and intellect. Then when this experience and the entire cosmos with all its being is only in your mind, unconditional love towards everyone is your natural disposition. You don't have to try it then. You don't have to attempt to be loving towards others. It becomes our natural disposition. This theme of Yoga Bhumika, introduction to the union with the Lord, is initiated in the next verse and is the theme of the next 17 verses, 17 OVs. These are methods of meditation. Each OV deserves to be taken in the spirit and depth of contemplation in which Jnaneshwar Maharaj expounded it. The first one. दृष्टा दृश्याचिया ग्रासी मध्य उल्लेख विकासी योग भूमिका ऐसी अंगी वाजे. When the drashta, seer, has swallowed the drushya, seen, the experience is over. Between the successive experience is the self revealed. This is called yoga bhumika, where the self shines forth. Whenever thought only appears in our mind because there is a desire, there is an itch. And when that, suppose there is a desire that I am thirsty, so that will create activity, that will create thoughts. Oh, where do I get the water? How do I quench my thirst? You will go everywhere. And eventually, till you don't drink the water, the thoughts of water will be, and thirst will be in your mind. And the moment the water goes into you, the thinker and what it was thinking about? Water. The thinker, the drashta, the seer, and seen the water, the seer devours the water or swallows the water. After that, that thought of water goes out of his... The moment the thought of water goes out, the one who wanted to drink, if the scene called water is gone, then the seer has got no purpose. He also vanishes. This is in the terms of Vedanta, we say the subject and the object. The subject is seeking the object called water, and when he gains and becomes one with that what he is seeking, then the object is gone. Now the subject has got no problem, has got no reason to exist. It can exist only because there is an object. See, this is the relative subject that we are talking about. The I thought we are talking about. So the I thought can appear only when there is a that thought. So I thought was the seer and the that thought was the seen, the water. Water is gone, you have satisfied, you have become one with it. Seer, the I thought also is gone. But when that I thought is gone, which is happening with every word that I am speaking right now, then there is what?
Another object.
Yeah, but before the next object comes and the first object is gone, what is in between?
Silence.
Huh? Silence. In that silence, there is no object, there is no that thought, and there is no I thought. Then what is there? You are realized for that moment. In that moment, in that empty moment, in that conscious silence, because you are still awake, if I am speaking in these 4 words I have spoken, the speaker and the spoken, the I was spoken, am is spoken, and so on. So between these there is a gap. You are awake, you are aware, you are alive. You are not gone to sleep, and there is no object, and there is no subject, but the eternal subject is still there. Expanding this gap. So realization is happening many times during the day. See? Catch this moment, which is naturally expressing so many times during the day. So here Jnaneshwar Maharaj says, this is Yoga Bhumika, this is the state of supreme realization. But it is not long enough for it to affect you, affect the mind. Now, when we sit in meditation, we allow it to devour the mind in its entirety. The seer has eaten the seen, and one experience is over. When one gets established in the junction between the two experiences, one attains union with one's own essential nature. This is exactly what I just explained to you. The knowledge of any object does not take place in the object nor in the concerned sense organ. So, when you are seeing me, the knowledge is not, the knowledge that is taking place that this is Swamiji is not taking place in Swamiji. This knowledge of you that this is Swamiji is not taking place in your eyes also. And where is it taking place? It's not in the object, it's not in the instrument.
In the mind.
We are analyzing more deeper than that, than just the mind. So it is not taking place in the object, it is not taking place in the instrument, because both are inert. Then where is it taking place? It is taking place in the I. The knowledge of this is this is a flower does not happen either in the flower or in the eyes. It happens in the instrument of knowledge called the mind. And what is mind? Subject and object relationship is the mind, isn't it? You are seeing the object outside, but where is that object perceived?
In the consciousness.
In the mind,
Not there.
not outside there, not at the level of eyes, but in the mind. It happens in the instrument of the knowledge called the mind in 2 stages called Vritti Vyapti and Phala Vyapti. This we saw in one of the Upanishads. We have seen it in the 1000 teachings of Shankara. There also we saw it. In Panchadashi we have seen it. It is called vritti vyapti and phala vyapti. The first stage is that where the mind flows out as if it were through the eyes and takes the shape of the flower. This is a flower. And the second, when the object is known by one as the object of knowledge and becomes the knower, I know this is a flower. So, this is a camera. This is the first recognition. Second, I know this is a camera. This is the world. I know this is the world. So conclusion has come. Now there is no doubt about it. In this way, the dichotomy of seer seen is created. The technique of yoga bhumika is coming to one's own source is as follows. Now he is expanding on the technique that I explained. Having seen the object, the attention is on the object. Now this you can practice it. How Swamiji is giving it to you, you can practice it anywhere, even right now as we are talking. Having seen the object, the attention is on the object. Now the mind is lifted from the object and brought to the level of the thought. With the eyes closed and the body still, one becomes the owner of the thought of the object. I don't have to keep looking at Swamiji to know that Swamiji is. I close my eyes, I see the Swamiji. I close my eyes, I see you. I don't have to keep looking at you all the time. The next step is when one does not get influenced by that thought, that is, one does not want to pluck the flower. Then after some time that thought dies away. Thus, the object is comprehended by the mind is comprehended by me and the absolute witness. Thus, one moves inwards from object to subject, but the subject is of two kinds. So, what is our problem?
We get stuck in the mind, in the thought.
What happens? I see Louis, and the Louis comes into my mind. And then, the moment thought Louis comes, Louis has her own baggage. Meaning, Louis comes, she's a box. And when she comes in, all my memories about her get activated. And then, something. As long as I'm holding on to the thought, not the object, but now that object called Louis has become a thought in my mind, and I keep looking at it, then, I think I should tell Louis that tomorrow we'll go to Teresa. I must ask Louis when is she going on holidays. I must ask Louis how is her health. I will ask Louis, is she bringing joy or not. Something will erupt. Why? Because you have plucked the flower, meaning you have got attached to that thought in your head. Then what is the sadhana here? Technique? The technique is remain undisturbed by the appearance or disappearance of that thought called Louis. Then what will happen? This object, the thought called Louis, which is an object in your mind, which you are perceiving, it will die its own death. It will go away. It will not, no thought remains in our mind permanently. Yeah. So it goes away. The moment it goes away, the I thought that I know this is Louis, that I also will go away. And then what will remain? The witness will remain. In that gap, till the next thought comes, that witness will remain. And if you practice it enough with enough number of thoughts, not giving them attention, not giving them value, not getting attached to them, and if you can do that even while you are moving around in the world, you are looking, just like you are doing right now, so many things are seen by you, but you are not giving them value in your head. Sometimes that Krishna picture suddenly pops up in your head and you just, no reaction. It just goes away after some time. Then the camera thought will come in your mind. You don't give it too much because you are concentrating on me. So it dies away after some time. when you are in your own space, in your own house, sitting in silence, play this game of not giving attention and value to the thoughts that are appearing in your mind. And why are they appearing? Because you have seen them somewhere, you have experienced them somewhere, isn't it? You have interacted with them somewhere. If we can stop that ownership, that this is this, this is that, this is this, we keep going on like all the time, isn't it? Oh, this is interesting. Oh, I would like that. Oh, this is fantastic. Oh, look at that sunrise. How beautiful. Yeah, it's gone into inside as a thought. But if we don't react to all this, you're okay. So, but the subject is of two kinds. One is the normal experience who becomes happy or miserable, and the other is the one who experiences but does not get influenced by it. This state is called the witnesshood or sakshi bhava. So right now, both of these fellows are expressing. How? The first one is expressing because you are listening to me, and the second one is expressing that fellow is behaving as a witness, is the witness of all that is here in the room but not getting disturbed by it. The first one, then who is getting disturbed? The one who is listening to me is getting disturbed.
If you think that it happens on its own accord, okay, let it go, and that is what I do. So when I meditate, okay, when you are talking, I just sit like this. So it happens, but I am with the absolute, and I sit like this. So that's the way I practice.
So you're not asleep.
Huh?
Sometimes.
Sometimes I fall asleep because when the body is tired, today I had a very strong cup of coffee and tea.
Okay, let's not get off the track.
Yeah.
Will you
So,
say that last little
yes.
bit again, because I just missed that, but
Yes.
it's important.
What was I saying? I don't know what I was saying.
Huh?
The two different.
The two different eyes. So what I was saying was, at this moment, both the eyes, the relative eye and the witness eye, both are functioning at this moment. The witness eye, first I'll explain. The witness eye in you and in me is that eye which is aware of the environment, the chest of drawers, the sofa, the cat, the camera, the what all the stimuli in this room, but not getting disturbed because it is not giving value to them. And then there is one more eye which is giving value to Swamiji and wants to hear and take in and absorb the information, the knowledge that is being communicated. So really speaking, this I, the relative I, which has given value to this object called Swamiji's words, is allowing the words to come into the mind and then is getting attached to those words.
Can I put it into an example? Because I really need to know how to do this. I'm reading my book in bed, right? Reading my book, and in comes Will. Grizzling and groaning and grumping about the fact that he can't find the whatever in the whatever. And immediately my mind,
It's just gets away from what it was going
no, not only my mind immediately thinks he's referring to me because I didn't put something back in the cupboard. Immediate, absolutely immediate. And then the emotion comes up and I react and I'm arguing. Next thing we're in a big argument now.
But that is because you have trained your mind to think in that particular pattern. To think in that. So now, the more you practice with simple things to remain in your mind without giving value to them, and observe that these thoughts will appear for some time and then they will go away. When you become convinced that you are the witness even while you are expressing the emotion.
Yes. So you're putting a difference between
You are not creating the difference, but you are becoming clear what your true identity is.
But how do you catch that? I mean, this is so immediate that I'm
It is
gone
immediate.
before it-
But it's okay. It will slow down. It's not, you are not creating it, it's happening.
But you're at least aware of that happening.
Am
So
I
that's a big
am I
thing.
creating?
After the event.
But
Yeah, after the event only you can
you're aware.
realize that.
You're aware.
It's okay. It's okay. This thought is good that I don't want to know it after the event. I want to be. But first you have to as the mind slows down, automatically your capacity, ability of the mind, of the I, of the subject, not to get influenced by the object will start expressing. But you cannot start expressing it out in the world without having first trained yourself not to get influenced by the thoughts in your mind. First do it with small things which are not, just like here. The wall is not disturbing you. The thought of wall, the thought of that box is not disturbing you. That thought of that picture is not disturbing you. The thought of because disturbance means what? Irritation, movement, reaction, ownership.
Yes.
This is all. This is
Personal
this is
stuff.
so. This is all. I'm talking in general. Don't go into personality now.
No.
So all these, wherever there is movement, there is ownership. There is, I have taken ownership of that, and that's why the movement has taken place. Because the moment you divorce from ownership, stop taking ownership, stop giving value, stop giving having a reaction, all movement will stop slowly. All movement in your mind will stop. It will come to a standstill. And that is what we call as silence. And silence comes only when we stop giving value to everything. That is called, in other ways, when you stop giving value to the world, you go to sleep, which is silence. Now you have to practice that. Did you try to stop the world? No. You gave zero value to the world, but your attention was on the sleep. Similarly, when you are living in this world, instead of giving attention and value to the world, while you are seeing, hearing, touching, feeling, thinking, etc., etc., let your attention be not on the object called will, let the attention be on the subject.
Well, I got the best lesson for that this morning. Just going on from where I got out of bed, I'd slipped in. I had to meet Lois an hour later, and Will was growling about the whatever he was growling about and going on and on and on and on. I didn't have time to take ownership of it because I was too busy getting ready.
Getting ready, yes.
And I thought, this is great. There's no, he's just let him carry on. Let that go on.
Yes.
What's it to do with that?
So if that
Lovely.
worked,
It was
so
peaceful.
That's what's sleeping next week too. That'll be good.
no, and if you have understood this,
Yes.
then keep yourself busy. When he's growling, you be busy.
I mean, what?
You be busy
Busy.
with something else. So like today you were even though he was growling, you were busy with getting ready because you have got an appointment, whatever. So it did not disturb you. Similarly, create such a system in your day that whatever happens, you are busy contemplating on the self.
Oh, I think that was a big lesson. That was a really...
But you are understanding what we are saying.
Yes.
Instead of
Yeah.
this and all that stuff, yes, you are getting ready, but but how long you can't keep getting ready for the whole day at the physical level.
Yes.
But you can spend the whole day in contemplation of the self and you will not get tired. Once you fall in love with this divinity, you will not get tired ever. Just like we keep talking about it. We never get tired.
No.
because it's so fulfilling, it's so rejuvenating
It's so new all the time.
all the time. So keep coming back to that. Don't give value and attention to the objects. And you do that when you are in the world, you do it that way. But here the Swamiji is making us understand that whatever you see, hear, touch, feel, taste, you first, it is only this is a sofa. But then I know this is a sofa, then this is my sofa, then I have to take care of it. The whole journey begins after that.
That's right.
And then we become miserable on account of sofa. If someone is sitting here, if I say it is my sofa, and she takes that pen and starts poking it like this, I will go, and immediately it will react after some time.
Yes.
Because I have taken ownership of the sofa. If it was someone else's sofa and she's doing, who cares, man? It's not my sofa.
I'm not thinking like that.
I'm just
Yeah.
right or wrong?
See, already I took
Yeah, that is perfectly right.
You have to be.
Right. But this is how, understand the game of the mind. And this game of the mind is subject-object relationship, and the problems, issues, challenges, activity only begins when the subject takes ownership. The subject gives attention. The subject gives value to the object. And while this is going on, at the same time, there is a witness also there. So you have a choice to be the one who gives value or to be the one who is the witness. Or to be the witness.
What a slow
Even
process.
the desire.
It's not slow,
Yeah.
it is immediate.
Yeah.
You cannot do it in future. You cannot do it in retrospect. Either you are there at this moment or you are not. Either you have given value or attention. If you have given value and attention to any thought, any idea, any conviction, you are trapped. If you remain neutral, what we keep saying, accept everything, reject nothing, retain nothing. Retain nothing is the result of not giving value and attention to any thought that appears in your mind. Because any thought that appears in your mind is an objective thought. You know that this thought has come. So object is not you. The thought is not you. The thought is an objective introduction.
What did you want to say?
We were talking about objectifying, being with Swamiji, and we're happy to be with you and what you're saying, and we don't want to let go of that. We're happy in that state.
So now understand this. On one hand, it is good that it brings you to satsang,
Yes.
but go one step further. You come here because the words that you hear remind you of your true nature. That's why you come.
That's right.
If you come next class or next 2 minutes, I start and start telling you all my miseries of my life and how
Yes.
I couldn't imagine that.
how world is miserable and how I have been dealt a wrong hand and everything. You will stop coming from next week because it is not nourishing your soul. It's not nourishing your spirit.
Yeah, because you are
So we
moving
go
away
to
from the
satsangs, we go to Mahatmas, we study certain books, and we keep reading again and again or a certain theme or topic only because it nourishes our
Yes.
spirit.
We're attracted to the company of
Correct.
ourselves because
Now
they're
understand.
happy and there's
Now
that-
understand. Now don't stop there. So right now these words of the scriptures of Jnaneshwar Maharaj are nourishing our spirit. If thinking about the spirit can nourish us so much, being the spirit, how much it will nourish? I will be ever nourished. Then I don't need the means, the support of words in order to be the spirit. Because I am the spirit. I am the subject. So I keep listen to the words, but be subjective. Be subjective. Every moment be subjective. And being subjective is the most easiest way. It is not a process of thinking.
No.
It is process of being in spite of thinking. In spite of thinking is it's being. Once the point has been reached, the witness ceases to be interested in the thoughts. There is nothing to witness outside itself. So it is as if the witness, Sakshi or witness, is focusing its attention on its own essential nature. The moment this happens, the subject-object dichotomy dies away, and there only the absolute subject without a trace of objectivity is left. That I am is the conclusion without a thought. Thus, the flower was eaten by the eyes by the mind by the witness, and finally the witness disappears. It ceases to be a witness because there is nothing to witness other than I. From this point, it can be appreciated how the world is created. It begins from I. The central point of a circle governs the circumference of the circle, but it is not influenced by it. In the same way, the world of names and forms is supported by the central point I. I remains ever the same, that keeps changing. So when I think about this camera, it is close, the circumference is smaller. When I think of Surendra, the circumference is bigger. When I think of the kitchen wall, the circumference is even bigger. When I think of Victoria, even bigger. When I think of Australia, even bigger. When I think of Earth, oh my God, it's quite big. When I think of the universe, it's infinite. But I has remained where it was. The distance is calculated from I, the subject, to the object. Yeah.
Whenever that happens, and it does happen more often, that this self appears, or seems like it comes up uncovered and I suddenly see it. Why does it seem impersonal, personal, emotionless, and just is?
Because that is in the mind. Sometimes you're flipping into the mind and then becoming a witness and again going into the mind. The moment you get into the mind, it becomes emotional or some idea or something. When you are not in the mind, it is the witness.
It's just there. Okay.
Furthermore, when the center is such that it is not limited by a circumference, then the center is everywhere. The center expressing as circles such as speaker, the listener, etc. And each center ceases to be the speaker or listener once that function is over. But the life expressing at every center is one without a second. When the attention is on the principle that one is, one will be able to function through the relative equipment, yet never bound by the relativity. Thus, the seen, the flower I have seen, I know the flower, the known, the flower is seen, this also I know, the knowledge. Thirdly, I know that this is a flower, that also I know, the knower. In this way, the object of knowledge of the object of knowledge, knowledge of object, and the knower of the object of knowledge, all three are illumined by me. So I am aware of the I thought, I am aware of the that thought, I am aware of the knowledge taking place between I and the object as the word or the knowledge that is taking place. But I am other than that, because I am knowing that this is coming and going, this knowledge is taking place and then going away. Even when all these three are not there, I continue to be and know their absence. So I know the presence of the thought called flower, then I know that there is absence. Then I know the thought called Louis, I know there is absence after that thought. Then I know the thought called joy, then again there is absence. So I am the continuous principle, and I in spite. So when our attention is on that, in spite of all the thoughts coming and going, my attention is on the continuity that I am. Because I thought is not a continuous one. It appears only with an object. So I know Louis, then Louis also vanishes, I also vanishes as a thought.
Thought also.
Then I know joy, then joy also vanishes, and I thought which knew joy, that also vanishes. But the eternal I, the unstruck I, it continues. And this is my knowing. This is this is my observation. This is your observation. So instead of instead of defining yourself as the I thought, define yourself or take yourself to be the eternal I, in whose presence all the I thoughts and that thoughts come and go. Who cares about them?
So you're the part-time I.
Yes.
And the correct, good one. Part-time I, and this part-time I is the miserable one.
It sure is a dog.
That's the right word.
Part-time I. Applying this to daily life. This I is beyond the trio, beyond the drashta drishya bheda. This is called a yoga bhumika. Applying this to daily life, it follows that being sympathetic to any experience is falling to the level of relative existence. But when one is as unsympathetic to one's own experience as much as to the experience of others, then one is at the absolute standpoint. The experiencer is not to be given undue importance because he suffers and enjoys only with reference to the experienced. So it is the I thought which is experiencing the that thought. He is the miserable one. Get out of the way. Define, take the correct standpoint, take the correct disposition. Are you the I thought, or are you the knower of the I thought, which comes with every that thought? This you have to do it in yourself.
Yes.
To the extent that you become clear about this and be the I, be the witness, to that extent your performance in the outside world will also change. Then whatever comes, you will not be disturbed. Not because of that object, because your attention is not on the object, your attention is on the eternal subject, the witness.
Full time.
Full-time I, not the part-time I.
Yeah, that's a good example.
Correct.
I think we've all worked it out.
Yes. That was a very good one. Very good one. Part-time and full-time. Now let that become a game
Yes, that's right.
in our daily living. That am I being a part-time? Wife I is a part-time I. Mother I is a part-time I. And which one is the full-time? Oh, the one who, whether the wife is there or how, exactly. Good one. So there you go. Problem solved.
What a memorable morning this is. I tell you what, it's all gone crazy. I sort of knew this, but now it's all
We all know it, but we are not able to. We get distracted by the objectivity.
Yeah, when you see the
No,
how
when we get associated with
Exactly.
that only, the problem
And
comes.
association comes when you give value and attention to any object.
Yeah,
Only then.
yeah. So the part-time I needs an object to sort of. Make,
To
yes.
Either it needs an object, or if its attention is on absence of object, also the part-time I is continuing to exist.
Yes.
That I don't have a job now.
You can rest from your labours.
So with this thought, I think we have done come to a good conclusion today.
That's a good
To be the
thought,
full-time
and we
I
practice
and not
it.
the part-time I. So this is yoga bhumika. This is yoga bhumika. This is being in the supreme state of realization. Being the full-time I. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.